How are you?
Well, really good, really good.
Okay, well,
And
tell me, what did you work on in terms of photos or something?
okay, I'm really excited. So, do you want me to share? I can't right now because I'm in the car, but
Right.
should I be sharing my treasury
Oh my God, I would love if
with
you
you?
did.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have photos on it yet, but I did all of my, I've picked out my background and I've made different pages that I think I'm going to, start with.
Oh, I would love
And
to see that. Yes.
okay. And then I've been spending a lot of time with, because I think I want to start with how John and I met. And
Okay.
just because those pictures are the easiest for me to get to and really, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I know that you've said
that's
if
like the
you
beginning.
wait until all of your photos are completely sorted, you'll never get started. So
Well,
I
and also,
mhm.
it's like the KonMari method where she doesn't recommend taking everything out of your house at once. She recommends
Exactly.
starting with clothing, and doing that, and then after you put away all your clothing in your closets and drawers and whatever, you get this really great sense of accomplishment. And so then you get all excited and you want to show people and you want to continue. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I'm at that just very early stage of excitement of just having truly this beginning started. It's like the kickoff. It's like the closet. It's just the beginning piece. Um, I love it. I
Oh
love
my
it already,
God.
but right now I'm just going to keep organizing. I'm really close to finishing this 1 year.
Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you. I didn't think you would
Thank
do
you.
anything over break.
Come on, seriously, girl.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of plans you had, I mean, I figured that since your family would be off, that you would just be
Yeah,
spending time with your family. So,
right.
so I'm
No,
so
it's been like,
impressed that you took the time to your precious, I mean,
oh, thank you.
I know that you're retired, but still this precious time around the holidays, you took your time to start this work. And I mean,
Oh,
do you agree
I
with
wouldn't if
me?
it weren't for you.
Oh, yay.
I wouldn't. Wait until you see my page. It's dedicated to you and Cami. You'll
Oh, I'm
see. Which reminds me, Catherine, I've replayed those videos, and those videos are so helpful. So in your business, they're just awesome.
Which
Really helpful to
videos?
continue.
You mean my
The
my
digital
my
memory videos.
course?
Yes. They they're just
Oh,
awesome.
thank
But
you.
I have to mention, I think you got teary or emotional in your first one. I think it was your first one. I'm getting it
Yes.
mixed up. When
Yes.
you start, talking. I mean, I could tell you took a breath when you were explaining how this started. That's a huge. Um, that really is going to connect you with people who decide to take this journey with you.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Professionally. Yeah, it's
I
it's
mean,
really
this is
meaningful.
this is what I feel was like something that's making me unique. Like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
just have to kind of go on a little side tangent right here. Is that this week for me was really
Yeah.
difficult because going back to school, everybody's trying to pretend that we don't have COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to pretend that we're like going to be normal, even though there's like this new COVID variant. We're going to pretend it doesn't exist and we're just going to try to do business as usual, right?
Right.
Um, and and I swear to God, adrenaline coursed through my veins all day long, every day. It brought
Really.
me right back to March of 20.
Yeah.
What was that? 2020.
Yes. And that was horrible. That was horrible.
It
That
was
was horrible for
so horrible.
everybody.
So the thing that happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
let's just go back and rehash the past. The thing that happened to me was, I just experienced extreme PTSD because everything that was happening just completely reminded me of when Cammie got cancer. When Cammie got cancer, it happened one day we found out. Well, I mean, we didn't know she had cancer, but she had a tumor. So one day we found out, and then from that day for 2 years, I felt like I had adrenaline coursing through my veins, every single day. So, that experience of panic and like going to the store to stock up on stuff and that whole thing, I experienced that already. And
oh my gosh.
And but it was much worse with Cammie than it was for
Yeah.
COVID, thank God. But
Yes.
but one thing is that made me really smart, that experience.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
yes, but it also it gave me this, like, my superpower. My superpower is that I know how important pictures and videos are because
Exactly.
that's all I have of Cammie.
Yeah.
And I kind
Yes,
of I've
so
I've
true.
been kind of stuffing my feelings for 15 years, and
Okay.
then I discovered Marie Kondo.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had another child and I just went on, and I got that job, and so I was just, being a normal person. And then
Yep.
and then I found, and then Mike grew up, and so I was thinking, okay, I'm kind of done taking care of him.
Yes.
And I saw the book Spark Joy, and I was like, that's what I need in my life. I need more joy. So then the first thing I did, well, okay, then I cleaned my whole house, right? I did my tidy festival during that summer. So that was the summer of 2019.
You
And
did it all on your own, which is, I think, phenomenal. Without
well,
any help, Coach.
I'm a very organized person anyway, so it was
Yeah.
super easy to do it on my own. I mean, I had the books, I had the Netflix shows, I had all that. I probably didn't do it totally correctly, and I didn't have somebody coaching me, which I would have loved. But anyway, so then I have this whole story about going into Cammie's closet, and that just unleashed this whole, like,
Yeah.
floodgates of everything. And then after I did that, then I went back to work in the fall, January of 2020, doing some self-discovery.
Uh-huh.
And then I realized I don't have like a memorial for Cammie online. And so I immediately knew I had to use Google Sites to do it, and I just did it like in like a couple of days. And
That would have been so therapeutic.
oh my God. And so that's what started it all. I didn't even call it Digital Memoirs at that time because I didn't even know. So it's so interesting that you are mentioning about Cammie and that she is kind of the key, because she was definitely the key for me. And then it just became, again, opening the floodgates. Then I just was like, oh my gosh, well, if I did this for Cammie, I have to do this for our whole life. And then I couldn't stop. So another thing you can do is your childhood.
Yep.
That was a
I've got
really impactful thing for me, because it made me realize, as I went back and kind of organized my favorite photos of my childhood, I was thinking, wow, I have kind of a negative opinion of my childhood. And
Oh.
I should not be thinking all these negative thoughts. So it was really healing for me to do that, because then
Awesome.
I kind of, I noticed, I'm like, because I always thought I was so fat and low self-esteem.
Oh.
And even though I had a lot of friends, somehow I just didn't feel good about myself. And then when I
Yeah.
saw like my pictures and what I did as a kid, and going to camp and all the fun things I did, I was like, why am I thinking these negative thoughts? I need to turn this around and be much more positive about and proud of my childhood. You know,
Good
proud
job.
of my parents, proud of, you know, everything that we did, of my sister and brother, you know, like, so that was really therapeutic for me to do my
No
childhood.
kidding.
You know, I would explore writing more about it.
Yes.
If you're that conflicted,
Yeah.
I would suggest trying to write some things about that. And
idea.
I bet you'd be surprised about kind of what you discover about yourself. And, you know, because life is complex. You know, we can't only find the joy, you know, I mean,
Yeah. Right. This is reality.
yeah. And the good thing about being able to do this is that you're safe, you know, like you're not in the middle of this situation anymore. This is in the past. So, you know, use this as kind of a therapeutic exercise where you can tell the story. So you've done your treasury site, and then are you doing a different Google site for, so I'm curious how you are like organizing stuff into your different sites.
Okay, so right now it's just all on my treasury site. Just all I did was create, you know, I went over to the right and just would add a page and I put a title.
Oh, okay.
Add a page, put a title. So
So like how many years do you have on there?
Okay, I can only go by memory since it's
yeah,
not in
well,
front of me,
approximately.
but, I did my childhood.
Oh, you did do your childhood.
Well, I just did it. Yeah, just
a page
titled
for
it.
that. Okay.
Yeah. And at first I did my childhood, and then I made a page for my teen years, and then I made a page for my college, and I thought, no, I'm just going to put it all in one, I think.
Okay.
Because like you said, I can always go back and change, because it's just kind of throwing ideas out. That's important for whoever reads this in the future, children and so forth. Well, how did their grandparents meet?
Okay, so kind of going back.
Yes.
Back a generation.
Yep.
And do you have pictures?
I will. Yes, I do, but they're in boxes. So
right. So that you have to digitize those.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So there's a ton of digitizing I have to do, but like I said earlier, if I don't start
somewhere
plugging things in, yeah.
Yep. Okay, now
the next 2 years on digitizing.
Okay, this is what I'm going to suggest.
Okay, please, because that's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest that instead of putting all that stuff on your treasury site, to make a separate site for anything about your parents.
Okay.
And I made a whole separate site for my childhood, and I had 2 pages. I had childhood and then young adulthood. So I separated it when I was after 8th grade because I moved to a different house, and that was very significant for me. So I had like everything before 8th grade and then everything after 8th grade all the way through college, because I didn't have very many pictures in college.
Right, same here.
That's isn't that funny?
Separate pages away. Yeah.
So all I had are those 2 pages, but I made that into a separate site.
A totally separate
site. And that's what I'm going to suggest you do.
Okay.
And then what I did, my next thing I did was the decade of the 90s, because we met in 1990, we got married in 91, and so it starts with our meeting in 1990.
Yes, I did. I recalled that, so that's how I set mine up. I did the 1990s just like you did.
Okay, so then I have each year is a separate page.
Okay, good to know.
And then, but that's a separate site. That's a separate site. So and then my treasury site, all my treasury site is is a picture and a button to connect to those sites. So I'll have a picture of my childhood and a button, and then I take the link from my childhood site and paste it into that button so that the button will then link to that separate site. And then I have a separate picture called the 90s. So I have a picture and a button called the 90s, and then I take the link from my 90s site and paste it into the button.
Oh, okay. And that's where I had stopped the video because I didn't want to watch the whole thing. I wanted to do what up to that point. So that makes so much sense. So now I'll continue to watch the video.
Okay.
And that will lead me through that
process.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so really my Treasury site is only one page. It's a page of buttons to all my other sites.
Now, why did you do it that way and not just keep it all in one site?
Because it would be way too humongous.
But wouldn't they be like chapters? Like you just click on that?
I mean, yes, but we're talking about I don't know. It's just it's an easier way. It's just not so huge for me.
Okay, good to know.
So because like now I have a different website for each year. Okay.
That scares me because what if somebody says, "Okay, Okay, Mike says I want to read up on your college years, your 8th grade. So what would you tell him to do? Would you lead him toward your Treasury site?
So he has a link. He has one link to my Treasury site. And my Treasury site, and then you have to scroll down and you'll see a picture of my childhood, and he clicks on that and it goes to my whole childhood website. And then to get back to my Treasury site is a little bit tricky. But that's possible.
Right.
So
good information.
Yes. So like for example, I do a different site for each year because I do a different page for each season now.
Oh, that's right. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. And so like if I just did one website, it would be like 1,000 pages. I don't know. It would be too much. So I have an analogy that you tell me if this makes sense. So think about a castle. And a castle has many different rooms. And each of the different rooms is a different website, is a different Google site.
Love it.
You've got your childhood room. You've got your marriage. You've got your 90s decade.
Yep.
So I did a decade of the 90s, but then I started doing, mine is confusing because of Cammie, but after Cammie died, that's when I started doing a one website per year.
Okay.
So,
and then broke it into the seasons.
Yeah.
Which I love that idea.
Yes. And then you have the front door key of the castle is your link to your Treasury site, because all you have to do is give people that link to your Treasury site and they can see everything.
Awesome. That is a very good analogy.
I love it because my favorite ever TV show is Escape to the Chateau on Peacock.
I don't know that show. Is it a mystery?
No, it's a couple who fixed up this castle. They had a flat, they sold their flat in London and bought this amazing castle in France for under $300,000. So basically their tiny apartment in London was the same price as this humongous castle on the countryside of France. And
oh my gosh.
and they fix it up and they have weddings in the summer and it's the best.
Escape to the Chateau, it's called?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I can't wait to watch it. I love it.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
So that gave me this idea of like this analogy. And
I like
it's so funny because so the woman's name is Angel in the show, and her parents live with them, and her dad is this photo fanatic guy, and one episode was about surprising him with putting like his photos on video or something, and they had this this viewing party night where they watched all the videos of her childhood, and I was just dying.
Oh, no way. You're going to have to write to them. Hey, you should get a hold of them and tell them. You never know. You might get an invitation.
I know. I mean, seriously. And then Michelle, when I watched the Michelle Obama thing, she goes to her mom's house, and or maybe it was her brother's house. And she's like, hey, I haven't seen this photo album since we were kids. And she's looking through the photos of her childhood at her brother's house. And then she just left. And I'm like, oh my God, you have to take pictures of all those photos and digitize them and give them to your daughters.
That's hilarious.
So I keep seeing this happening to famous people. And I just want to yell at them through the screen. Oh my God. You're going to share with me your link to your treasury site that you have started. And then I'm going to write you back and give you a bunch of advice about how to break it up.
Okay, perfect.
And, you know, we can even call again so that I can better explain it to you.
Yes.
What you're doing. So do you want to meet on Wednesday night?
You bet. If that works for you, I would love to.
Oh, I would love it.
Okay, good.
Okay. You know, I think the hardest part in the beginning is what you're struggling with. It's how to organize everything. And, you know, it's like how to wrap your brain around the organizational part. And so, you know, hopefully you guys can just, you know, follow what I did.
Totally.
But for sure, change it up however it fits better your life, you know. But I think that the way I did it was good enough, you know, to at least start with. And
definitely. Otherwise, it's like one of those things. People won't do it unless they have that coaching and that modeling.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Definitely.
Good. And don't you think it's easy kind of to work with Google Sites? Does it feel kind of easy?
I like it.
Okay, yay. Because see, that is what made Angels sing for me, because making websites is so intimidating on any other website platform. But Google Sites, it's just so easy. It's just
I'm
like
a novice.
Yeah, so, well, not really. I mean, you can do Google Sheets and Google Slides, and you're very good at technology.
No, I'm not. No, I really am not. I am not.
Okay.
100% not. I mean, if somebody said, okay, you need to sit down and make a slideshow right now, I would have to YouTube and figure out how to do it.
Okay,
No idea.
okay. Oh, no. I love that. Okay. And I don't know how much longer you're going to need me. I think that once we have probably a few more sessions, then you'll just be able to do this on your own. I so love this conversation, and I can't wait to connect with you on Wednesday. But more importantly, I just can't wait to see your treasury site.
Okay, good. Just remember, it's the very beginning stages. But that's good. That's what you're coaching.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Good to talk with you. You always lift me up.
Oh, good.
Dear.
Okay.
Take care.
Talk to you soon. Okay.
Thanks, Catherine.
Bye.